Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. I think it's quite concerning. I think it's always, in fact, concerning when justice gets in the way of politics. And by that, I mean that the three pillars should always be separate and independent. You have the judiciary, you have the executive, and you have the legislature. But when you have the justice system impinging on the executive, things are worrisome. But more so when it is not just the executive, but the executive and the legislature that justice is impinging upon. We have a woman, her name is Lady Chief Justice Carr. She is England's most senior judge. And she has made comments about what has been said in Parliament by people, senior politicians, one, the leader of the opposition, one, the Home Secretary. So you're dealing with both the legislature and the executive. And she's saying what they are saying is worrying and troublesome. I would suggest that her interference in what is going on is more worrying and troublesome. Justice should be independent from all other means. Now, this comes about the Garzan family who used the Ukrainian legislation to gain access to this country. It took like 3 appeals or something, and eventually it was granted. Now, Kemi Badenoch, she stood up in Parliament and questioned this and saying that it was a bad precedent, that it shouldn't be allowed, that this was one piece of legislation being corrupted for the use of something else, not what it was intended for. And that worried this judge, who said that this was wrong for her to say it. She was also troubled by Yvette Cooper's response, saying, yes, it is an unfortunate loophole, but that the government would be working to close that loophole. And this judge sort of slammed Yvette Cooper as well for saying that her team were looking to close the loophole. She said, both the question and the answer, she said, were unacceptable. I'm afraid no, they're not unacceptable. They are perfectly legitimate questions and perfectly legitimate answers. What we have here is an obviously wokey, lefty judge who is more concerned with foreigners than with the people of this country. After all, we're the taxpayers. We're the ones paying for this. She says it's the government's job to respect and protect the independence of the judiciary. And that's fine. It is the job, the government's job to do that. And she says that by the question and the answer, she feels that judiciary is not being respected and left independent. But it is not. It's the judiciary that's impinging on the other two columns of power. And disagreement is where change happens, of course. If you don't ever change, you go extinct, evolve or die. But this judge should not be slamming people for asking questions and should not be slamming people for answering them. And that is what's unfortunate. Now, yes, the people of this country have got the right to have questions asked and answered on their behalf. Why the judiciary thinks this is wrong, we do not know. And for these questions to be answered, oh, it was a loophole and we'll close it. And she feels that's the government impinging on the independence of the justice system. It's not. The justice system relies on the laws made by the legislature. Those laws are often put in place by the executive. They have to work hand in glove, but they must be independent of each other. And this judge is crossing the line. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much.